my name is Nicholas Montes, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. Welcome back to another YouTube channel for everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a ranking video, because this weekend I saw Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. My mom got it for me on Redbox, so today I thought it would be a great time to go back and to do a tier list on all the Shrek films. So here is my tier list, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you know the way my tier list works, basically it's A, B, C, D, F down to the worst, and basically we are doing it in release order. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to start off with the first Shrek film, and I'm just going to put it straight up right in that A tier. I think that this is a great film, probably one of the most iconic film. This is kind of like the Toy Story for the DreamWorks franchise, where it's the most iconic, it's fun, it's funny, all the characters are great, and the fact that it kind of kicked off this franchise of doing these weird fairy tale stories and all this stuff, I thought was really creative. And, you know, even the characters with Fiona, who's this badass princess who's not just a damsel in distress, but then you also got Eddie Murphy as Donkey, Mike Myers as Shrek the Ogre, and then, of course, you know, Lord Farquaad, I thought was also great. All the other characters, which don't make a huge impact in this film, but they do in the second movie. Overall, I thought this first film was great. Then we get into the second film, and I honestly think this film is easily better than the first film, and it's going right up in that A tier. Personally, for me, I just love what this film did from, once again, just continue the story where, okay, Shrek now made a love story with Fiona, and that was a great thing about the first Shrek film, is that, you know, it kind of made its own little fairy tale while making fun of fairy tales. But this film is like, okay, she's accepted me, she's now an ogre, now it's time to meet the human parents. And it creates a lot of fun instincts that kind of does that same story for the first Shrek in a very different way, but in a very different sense that makes it fun. At the same time, you know, the villains in here are also great, with Prince Charming and Fairy Godmother. I love the soundtrack of the film, whether it's the opening song or even I Need a Hero. And then, of course, the addition to Puss in Boots in this movie was also a great addition, as he's kind of like the cavalry. It's like if you didn't have him in the rest of the other ones, it just wouldn't really work as much. He's kind of like the Hobbs for the Fast and Furious films, where it's like if you took Hobbs out of it, but you still made it an action movie, it wouldn't really be as fun, but it would still be kind of cool. But overall, I thought the second Shrek film was great. And then we get into Shrek 3, which is kind of difficult of where I want to place it, because on an enjoyment level, the movie is so rewatchable. To be clear, I enjoy all of the Shrek movies, and especially the Puss in Boots films, because I have a soft spot for them. But with the third film, the story itself is not exactly the best one. Where Shrek, Puss, and Donkey go to this medieval high school to get Arthur to become the new king of Far, Far Away. Because Shrek doesn't want to be the new king. Because he doesn't believe that an ogre can be king. And then it turns to this whole revenge story where Prince Charming gets this whole army of fairy tale villains to attack Far, Far Away. And I mean, it does create some type of new distincts, especially, also the princesses in the movie. They're great. The soundtrack is still great. Some of the character moments are still pretty cool. I wasn't the biggest fan of the way they did the body switch between Puss and Donkey. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Once again, some of the action sequences were cool. And overall, it was a fun film, but it had a lot of story issues. So I'm going to put this right in that C category, because I still really enjoy it, but I also there's a lot of issues with it too. Then we got Shrek Forever After. Now, this is a film that I think actually kind of pays off a interesting idea, where Shrek is he now has kids. He also now has a family, and he keeps reliving this same thing every single day. So they created this what-if scenario where he didn't have kids, he never married Fiona, and he basically stuck with this whole village of ogres. And I think it created, like, it actually had a lot of fun concepts, whether it was fat Puss in Boots, which I thought was fun, Donkey being this kind of servant, Fiona being the badass that she was always meant to be, and then all the other fairy tale characters working for Rumpelstiltskin, which, by the way, Rumpelstiltskin was a great addition to this film, a great addition to the franchise, probably one of the best villains in front of Lord Farquaad and Fairy Godmother. And overall, I thought the film was great. The music in here was pretty good. It overall felt like a Shrek movie. And it's crazy that this was the last time we actually saw this cast of characters. So for me, I'm going to put this in the B tier. I don't really have any specific problems with it that keeps it from the A tier, because I'm really talking specifically good about it. But I don't know what more to say about it. Shrek Forever After. So that's my thoughts on that movie. And then we get into the Puss in Boots films, which with the first Puss in Boots, I thought was a pretty good origin story for this character. Puss in Boots is one of my favorite characters from the Shrek films, and the fact that we finally got a standalone film with him was just awesome. And I overall just really like the way they did this story of really just kind of telling of like where he came from, this outlaw story where he was an outlaw, he betrayed the law, but he also became this hero. And it was a nice interesting story. Beyond that, Salma Hayek as Kitty Softpaws was also great. I did like Humpty Dumpty, which I also, and once again, as he's set in this world with fairy tale creatures and characters, you find new ways to incorporate the Jack and the Beanstalk, Humpty Dumpty, the Golden Goose, Jack and Jill, and all these other characters, and even have some other cameos of other fairy tale characters in the film. I thought was overall really good. And even the score in this movie was also great as well. So, for me, it's tough to where to put it because it's definitely going in the B tier. It's definitely going high up. But is it better than Shrek Forever After? I'm probably going to put it above Shrek Forever After because I think it tells a much more clear story, and it's much more simple, or Shrek Forever After just kind of does a little bit too much. And for me, I feel like, and while I love the stuff in it, the story in Shrek Forever After is a little bit unclear once you get to the end. We're just trying to Rumpelstiltskin, that's it. It's not entirely clear as much, because it kind of feels a little bit lazy. But Puss in Boots, I think, overall, is going to go above Shrek Forever After. And then finally, we were talking about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and you're going to guess it, I'm putting this film in the A tier. I never thought that a sequel to the original Puss in Boots would be any better than the first film. Mainly because it took so many years to get this film made, and now we finally have it. One of my thoughts on it, I loved this movie. First off, the animation was just so stinking good. I mean, every single animation frame was just fantastic. Everything about the way the animation looked, I mean, it really just had this Spider-Verse style of animation, and even Mitchell's vs. the Machines. It was just so crafted well. But even more than that, they even found a new way to actually tell the Puss in Boots story of, now he's established as this great hero, this fearless hero, and he's now lost 8 of his lives, and as he's a cat, he has 9 lives. He lost 8 of them. Now he has only 1 life left. And you bring in this death character who is known as the Big Bad Wolf, and he's out to get him, and he's scared for his life, so he retires. But even more than that, he kind of finds the best life he has, and meeting this dog character, reuniting with Kitty Softpaws, and going on this adventure to find the last wish. And I thought that, like, when you get to the end, it was also just a nice little message, like, maybe one life is enough. Like, why do you need all these lives? Like, maybe one life is enough. And even then, the other characters with the three bears and Goldilocks, I thought was great. Especially Goldilocks, played by Florence Pugh, Yelena Belova. I thought that was great. And then even little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating a delicious pie. I thought that was great. I thought John Mulaney played a great performance as that character. And even having, like, the Jiminy Cricket character as him. Overall, I thought, like, it gave interesting aspects to them, where it's like Jack Horner just was tired of being a good boy. Now he is a big bad villain, which kind of gave a lot of evil Peter Pan vibes that we saw in the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie on Disney Plus. And then even with Goldilocks and the bears, I thought it gave a nice little arc to Goldilocks where she wanted to find the perfect family that are humans, and you kind of explore her character a little bit. And so, while it feels like the most different Shrek film because of the animation style, it finds ways to be different, but also feel the same in the Shrek universe, as well as also a Puss in Boots film. So I thought that worked really nicely, and even the action sequences were great. So I thought overall this movie was fantastic. I loved it, and I'm kind of surprised that this film worked more than the original. So that's my review. So that's pretty much my tier list for all of the Shrek films. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.